Are Arsenal ready to step up their pursuit of Moises Caicedo? Yes, people, why football here, and welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you love keeping up to date with Arsenal transfer news videos daily, this is the place for you. Make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 2,000 subscribers. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into the tweet brought today by Ben Jacobs, who's a journalist with CBS Golazor in America, and he says Chelsea and Arsenal will pursue Moises Caicedo. Nothing too significant in the Man United links. Understand it's going to take at least 70 million guaranteed, plus 10 million in add-ons. No bids placed yet. And it's interesting, right? Because we've heard already that Caicedo is going to leave Brighton in the summer. That is confirmed by Brighton and Fabrizio Romano, who says it's about a 90% chance that the player will leave. Now, in January, Arsenal did put through a 60 million bid. It was rejected, and a 70 million bid that was also rejected. It seems as though we're going to go in for a third bid of 80 million. However, we never went through that. And it led me to believe that Brighton were not going to sell under any conditions, right? Because if that was the case, couldn't see why Arsenal weren't going to go for 80 million in the January. Now, it says, according to Ben Jacobs, right, in this tweet, he says it's going to take 70 million plus 10 million in add-ons at least. So around 80 million to tempt Moises Caicedo or to tempt Brighton from selling Moises Caicedo this summer, a player that wants to leave. Now, he signed a new contract at Brighton, right? And Brighton was smart to do that because they promised the player he could leave in the summer. They wanted him to stay in January because they wouldn't have enough time to replace him. Arsenal made a bid for Moises Caicedo around the 29th or 30th of January. There wasn't enough time to replace him at all. And they wanted to keep hold of Moises Caicedo as he was going to help them to get European football, which he did. And congratulations to Brighton for making the Europa League. But now it seems they want to sell him. Having re-signed him to a contract, they've promised him, look, we will sell you, but having this contract gives us assurance and gives us security and make sure that our asset is locked down for a long time so we can sell you for a lot of money. And we're sure these clubs will be willing to put in this type of money for you because you are a top quality player. And it's going to cost a similar amount of money to what was quoted in January. So that leads me to believe that Arsenal have a good chance of getting Moises Caicedo here. It's not like Brighton have sat there and gone, you know what, Arsenal bid is 70 million in January, we won 100 million in the summer. No, according to Ben Jacobs, Brighton only won about 70 million guaranteed and only 10 million or so more in add-ons. Around 80 million, which we know Arsenal have the capacity to get that transfer over the line. It's just about whether we're willing to put forward that sort of money for Moises Caicedo, right? There's all this talk about Declan Rice, a bid potentially going in for Declan Rice, 80 million plus add-ons, 92 million has been talked about. Nothing's been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein yet. And trust me, when it has been confirmed, I'll drop a video straight away on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and turn on bell notifications because you don't want to miss any sort of Arsenal transfer news that is covered on this channel as soon as the reports come out from reputable sources. So I think the thing with Arsenal right here is, right, we're big fans of Moises Caicedo. This was proven in January with us going for him. Chelsea also fans, we know Chelsea are willing to put up a lot of money for Moises Caicedo. The player's preference is Arsenal. Personal terms have been agreed with Caicedo as it was agreed in January when Arsenal looked to get the player. Because how it works in football transfers, right, guys, yeah, is it's not like career mode in FIFA where you look at a player, you approach the club for a fee, then once the fee's agreed, you go and approach the player for a contract and it's done. That's what it's like in career mode. It's nothing like that in real life. In real life, you go and meet the player first, or you ask the club, can I meet the player? And the club says, okay. You meet the player and you talk to the player and you understand, is that the type of player that wants to fit our football club? Does he match our culture? Does he match our DNA? Is he someone we want around the dressing room? If so, you say, okay, this is what we want. This is what we expect of you. This is the type of contract we're going to offer you. This is the wages we're going to offer you, the bonuses. Do you accept that? Because it's all good agreeing a fee with the club, but if the player doesn't want to go, you just wasted time ironing out details with the club because more often than not, ironing out the fee of the club is the major part of the deal. It's the part that takes up the most time. And imagine you do all that and then the player goes, actually, I'm not interested. You just waste all your time trying to agree a fee of the club, right? So Arsenal would have already gone to Caicedo, I'm 100% sure of this, and said, look, Caicedo, this is the deal we're offering you. We can offer you Champions League football. We want you to be our starting defensive midfielder, potential auxiliary right back for the football club for the coming future. Do you want to accept? And Caicedo has gone, yes, I love Champions League football. I love the project what Arteta's doing at Arsenal. I want to come here and win big trophies with you guys. So that would have been already agreed. And now whenever the player agrees and the club is saying, okay, cool, make sure the personal terms are agreed. It can't be on a contractual basis because they haven't got hold of the player yet. They haven't agreed terms with the opposing team. But they would have given a verbal agreement that, okay, Caicedo wants to come to Arsenal. Then it's about getting it over the line with the football club. And I believe Arsenal do want to get this Caicedo deal over the line alongside Chelsea as well. Now, Chelsea would have agreed terms with Caicedo as well. I'm 100% sure of this because Chelsea have got the benefit of having money available, right? They're a rich club and Todd Bowley has not been afraid to take out his wallet, take out his checkbook and get these players over the line and give them lifetime contracts. I mean, look at Mudryk and Enzo Fernandez. They're signed for the next 7-8 years, right? So they will do something similar for Caicedo if possible. I understand that they can't do 8-year contracts anymore due to a new rule by FIFA, but they would have given them the 5-year contract, plenty of bonuses and a massive wage increase upon what he's earning right now at Brighton and Hove Albion. So What Arsenal need to do, right, is they need to move quickly with this deal. Because if it's both Arsenal and Chelsea going for the deal, and if it is Brighton, as I believe they would be, amicable in negotiations and saying, look, this is our asking price of Caicedo. You match this asking price, the player is yours. Now, I don't see why the player won't come to Arsenal, right? Because if you look at it from an Arsenal and Chelsea standpoint, Arsenal's is the more attractive team to go to. It's a more attractive project. You're going to get game time at both teams. So Arsenal is a team to go to. It's just about how Brighton approach this. If they approach it from, here's the money we want, 80 million, 70 million plus add-ons, and if you match that, you get the player, bang, I think the player's Arsenal's. But if Brighton go, okay, we want to do an auction, Arsenal you offer, then Chelsea offer, then Arsenal offer, then Chelsea offer, and we'll go from there to see who offers the most money, then it could be a case of Chelsea getting the player, as we have seen in previous years with them acquiring Mudryk over Arsenal, even though Mudryk was Arsenal's top target, and we were willing to offer like 90 million euros for the player. So it's all about how it's approached. I personally think Caicedo is going to be Arsenal's player if we put the money up front. Now, the other question is, the second part of Ben Jacobs' tweet, right in it says, no bids placed yet. If Arsenal's so interested in Caicedo, if Arsenal are willing to bid 60 and 70 million in January, why have we not bid yet? And for me, that comes down to a simple reason. The Declan Rice deal has not been finalised yet. Arsenal have looked at lots of players this summer. Declan Rice, Moises Caicedo, João Cancelo, Ivan Fresneda, Castaña's been talked about, etc. Arsenal have looked at a lot of players, but nothing concrete is developed in those players, no bids. Because I genuinely believe the Declan Rice deal is like the first domino in what can be an avalanche for Arsenal making a lot of signings this summer. Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, they've confirmed that Declan Rice is Arsenal's #1 transfer target. He's a player that we want. And Declan Rice will take up the majority of our transfer budget as well. He will be our record signing and potentially our biggest signing this summer transfer window as well. So it's all about Arsenal getting the Declan Rice deal over the line as quick as possible. Because once that's done, then that means that the weight's off our shoulders. We've secured our #1 target. Then we can start to scan the field and see it, look at other players that we potentially want. Whether it's Caicedo, whether it's Ivan Fresneda, Castaña, etc. We can look at other players we want to sign. But the #1 roadblock is Declan Rice. Because once we get that over the line, then we can look at players. And I think it is in Arsenal's best interest, right, to get this Declan Rice deal over the line as soon as possible. We know Bayern Munich are floating about. We know the player wants to get his future finalised as soon as possible, man. So I do think we're going to expect movement in the Declan Rice deal this week. For absolute sure. Of course, make sure you subscribe to our bell notifications. You do not want to miss anything to do with the Declan Rice to Arsenal story, which will be covered on this channel, as well as any other players being linked to Arsenal. I will be covering it on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. My road to 3,000 subscribers. So yeah, I do expect movement on the Declan Rice deal to Arsenal this week. And as soon as the Declan Rice to Arsenal deal is finalised, then we'll start to see real concrete bids for Moises Caicedo to Arsenal. That's what I expect. So this is the thing, right? If Arsenal really want Moises Caicedo, we can go and get him. I genuinely believe that. This is the first time in a lot of years where Arsenal genuinely is one of the most attractive teams to go to in world football. It's not like previous seasons where we would have to sell players a project because Arteta's had to go and call him and say, look, I know we're not in Champions League right now, but we will be. I'm building something at Arsenal, and players have had to be convinced. We don't need to do no convincing anymore. It's all out there. Everyone saw it this season. Arsenal is a club that every player would want to go to. So it's all about getting the deals over the line as soon as possible. Have we got the checkbook? Has the Kroenke supplied Arsenal with enough money to get all these players? Let's wait and find out, man. Because for me, I'd love to bring in Declan Rice and Caicedo. I want both. Whether we get both, I'm not too sure. I do believe we'll get at least one of the other. I think Declan Rice is the most likely right now, but I'd love to see both, man. Bring me Caicedo. That's the main thing. But like I said, the first thing is to get Declan Rice over the line for 92 million, how much it costs. And if Arsenal want Caicedo, as soon as Declan Rice is done, turn our attention to Caicedo. We just got to hope and pray that Chelsea have not sorted out Caicedo in the meantime, because Fabrizio Romano did confirm that although no bids were submitted, Chelsea were making some behind-the-scenes work towards a Caicedo deal. So let's wait and find out. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments regarding Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo to Arsenal. Would you like to see it happen? Do you believe it's happening? Do you believe Caicedo is on his way to Arsenal or Chelsea? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. I'm on my road to 2,000 subscribers. Drop a like down below so this video gets out to more people on the algorithm. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Take care.